Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. Now today I've got 7 topics. No, sorry, I take that back. 8 topics to cover in today's RC Coffee Chat, so you will definitely need a cuppa. So with that said, we have welcome to this channel. So I know that many of you are going to be new. I will cover that topic specifically so that you can get up to speed very, very quickly. A big thank you to everybody for the question which I posted yesterday on Ubles. We've got a review of the kind of a semi-review on the MicroVector. Laminating film is going to be a topic for today. If you hang around for anything, okay, it has to be topic number 6 because that's the naming of the locations at one of the flying sites. This is going to be funny for it. 7 is basically going to be fill your boots with over 400 episodes which I've got on YouTube. So if you've been looking for more content to watch on YouTube, there's a lot of screw ups which I've made and posted on Ubles. And number 8 is a little note about Facebook. So number 1, okay, is the welcome. In short, you caught me at my absolute best yesterday. I'd been up for something like 26, 27 hours, something like that. And yeah, I still managed to do an RC Coffee Chat. Happy days. Now, I do know that for many of you, this will be your first RC Coffee Chat. So, welcome. Thank you for joining. Now, with that said, these RC Coffee Chats are completely no edits at all. I leave all screw-ups in, okay? It just makes the editing process a lot easier. And I do my best to try and keep on topic. That's why I'm using some show notes on the right-hand side. So, yeah, get ready. You're going to be joining in with some of my RC adventures. Now, I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination. I only started flying in March of this year. And there's a couple of things which you should know. Number 1, there is no such thing as a crash, okay? Crash is a dirty word. That should never be mentioned in comments on Facebook or anywhere on this channel. Instead, they should always be referred to as a unscheduled landing, okay? That's what they need to be done. After every landing, whether scheduled or unscheduled, should be then closely followed by landed! And that will be a phrase which you hear many times in any of the flight footage which you see. Let's have a quick, what else have I got my notes on there? When it comes to landings, inverted landings take great amounts of skill and that should always be followed by landed. And wow, that took months to get that good. What else we got on there? Hobby King have been renamed to PLA King. So for those of you which got kind of a little bit lost yesterday with me calling Hobby King PLA King, basically if you go back a couple of RC Coffee Chats, I was really disappointed with Hobby King's Cyber Monday and Black Friday sales. After everybody telling me that it was going to be amazing, this was like my first year and I was told that Hobby King's Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales were legendary. No, nothing more constructive to add to that one. Now, if you would like to know a little bit more about me and how this channel started, I'll put a link to this video not only at the end of this episode, but also in the video description for you too. There is a video which I put up a short while ago called How I Started This Channel by Accident and more about Matt. If you're going to hang around for a while, please do go and take a look at that episode. It is 21 minutes long, and by the way, I'm not known as being a quick guy. I will cover a topic as deeply as required. So yeah, do go and take a look at that episode. I do also pretty much fly exclusively fixed wing models, preferably flying wings. Flying wings for me, that is where it's at. I love flying wings to bits, but that said, I will fly those funny models with rudders on as well. And I will fly quads, but mainly fly quads so I can get video footage of flying wings. I'm a bit of a wingnut. Just the way it is. And also, I'd like to say a big thank you to Bruce as well. Not only for putting a mention out yesterday, but on a very serious topic. It was one of Bruce's videos where he was doing flying the AXN glider around in figures of eights, and that's what got me into the hobby. I'd seen quads on YouTube, and that's where I started. I didn't really get on with them, and then I saw Bruce just chucking. There was 2 of these AXNs going around. Absolute fantastic episode, and that was kind of like me sold. So thank you, Bruce. Oh, and Ron, absolute legend. Unbelievable bloke. Talk about resilience. Yeah, numbers a bit. He's an absolute legend. Okay, now topic number 3 is a big thank you to everybody who posted their suggestions on the support for the little balsa wood model which came in here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the web camera, but what I've been and done is up here I've been and put some little strips of balsa wood, and then down here I've put some I had some spare and it looked like it needed a bit more meat, so I've put that in there too. Also, I am really impressed with this stuff, is that I've been and laminated the wing, so it now fits in there. It's a really nice snug fit. A little tip, which I haven't seen it anywhere else, but it kind of made sense, is that I've double laminated the center section. So when I cut through this laminate so that we get a good gluing surface on there, it then means that we still have plenty of strength either side, and I will try and get that to that today. Oh, and also someone else suggested in the comments about putting the dress pins in there as well. So I will be gluing it and putting some pins in and sinking those pins down, so that we also have a mechanical support as well. So yeah, thank you ever so much for your tips and suggestions around this model. I was just struggling, and this is one of the nice things about YouTube, is that it works both ways. I may do a build episode and we sit here and have a chat for an hour or so, and other times I get stuck. Like I said, I don't pretend to be an expert at any of this, but I'll have a bloody good go. Next topic which we've got, review of the MicroVector. So this came up in a chat. Those of you which know about the Eagle Tree Vector, they have been working on a smaller version, specifically aimed at quad pilots, although it works in fixed wing as well. Frankly honest, okay, I have to be 100% honest with you. My money, and that's what's in that bag there, is with the Eagle Tree Vector, okay? I personally wouldn't touch brand new tech like that, because it's my model, in short. We've got a brand new board, pretty much brand new or modified software to go onto the Eagle Tree Vector. I can tell you from a software developer's point of view, is that even the best, most tested software still has what I like to personally call undocumented features. So I'm not knocking the mini vector or the micro vector at all. I'm just suggesting you might want to hold off for about 3 months or so and let someone else find out those undocumented features. And also, by the way, I am fully aware that the guys over at Eagle Tree Systems, they have had those boards out and they've been testing them, etc, etc, etc. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine and there will be no undocumented features, but frankly speaking, I won't put it in one of my models. I'd rather go with the tried and tested version, which I know works extremely well. So that was a question which came in yesterday on one of the episodes. Next topic is laminating film. Now this was a bit of a hot topic yesterday because I was laminating stuff up in the Facebook group. I don't know, that's the stuff which we bought off eBay. It was some 75 micron stuff. Huge, great big roll of it for what was 14 quid, and me and Craig went halves on it. Well, I gave Craig a £5 and a couple of servos, which I thought was a bargain. So yeah, that's the stuff which I've been using. Works really great. The only negative I can say for that stuff is that it does like a higher temperature, so you have to go really careful with EPO foam, the white stuff, because too much heat will make it bubble underneath. So yeah, that's been good fun, and I will do an episode. I'll make a dedicated episode on that just on like the way, and again, I'm new to laminating, but I want to share some of the tips which I've learned with this so far, which is just the approach which I take. And there is definitely a specific approach which I take, which seems to be working out really well. And I'll do that in the future at some point. It's in my to-do list. Next one. Oh. Right. I will try and keep a straight face for this one. Basically, we've had some issues of working out where everybody is on one of the fly-in sites. So what we've decided to do is start naming some of the locations. Now, some of the locations have already got names. So I'm going to read out some of these names of what and so you can understand what they are, and then I'm going to string them together at the end. So the pits, we are going to be calling that, the guys need to confirm this, is Stu's armpit. Now, the reason why we're calling it Stu's armpit is because the other week, Stu flew his nano wing straight into him and really hurt his arm, hence the remark of armpit. The next location on the site is called the T-boner. Now, this is a T-junction of some hedges, and it's really obvious, which you can see through the goggles. The next section is, the next part of the field is called the Bermuda Triangle, and that's because Stu lost one of his models in there and we never saw it again, or Stu never saw it again. The next feature is Dead Man's Arm, and I'll put a link to an episode from Dave Pinnock, one of the guys which I fly with, and it's called Matt and That Branch, and when you see it, it really is Dead Man's Arm, and it just sneaks up at you at the last second through the goggles. Hence why we call it Dead Man's Arm. Let me just pause for a moment and take a sip. The next feature is a section which we've called Balls Deep. And the reason why we're suggesting it's balls deep, because it's a row of 4 trees and there's only this tiny little gap in there. And none of us have had the balls to fly through it yet. So hence we're calling that balls deep. The other feature is Suicide Straight, and Suicide Straight is a collection of trees which you can either fly above or underneath. Hence the term Suicide Straight, because there's no leaves on any of those trees, then unless you're low and fast, it's pretty suicidal. And at the end of Suicide Straight, there is a gate between the two fields, and we're going to call that, I assume we're going to call that Suicide Gate. The next feature in the flying site is the long walk home. So we have quite a trek to get to the location, and it's quite a trek to get back home again. So yeah, we're calling that long walk home. Then we've got Farmer's Daughter, which is a collection of trees near the car park. And the last location is Dave's Wood. And the reason why it's Dave's Wood is because a branch jumped out at him and then pulled him into the woods. And then we all had to go and hunt to come find his model and his video transmitter, etc., etc. So let's string all those locations together. Okay, I'm taking off from Stu's armpit and heading towards the T-boner, into the Bermuda Triangle, banking left for Dead Man's Arm. Then I'm going through Balls Deep, followed by Suicide Straight, through Suicide Gate, and then taking a cruise along Long Walk Home. Then through Farmer's Daughter and back through Dave's Wood to Stu's armpit. So can you imagine that some of the conversations which are going to be going on the flight line? On a very serious point, if someone shouts out, "I'm over at Balls Deep," we all know where he is. Goodness knows what you're thinking. If this is your first RC coffee chat, it's all gone downhill from here, to be honest. Right. And the last topic which I'm going to go and cover with you, I was about to say coffee with you, is Fill Your Boots. In short, is that there are over 400 episodes on YouTube which I've been put out, vast majority of them are RC related. If you go to the Rag the Nuts Off channel, click on the videos tab, and then down at the bottom, just keep pressing that load more button at the bottom. Just keep hitting load more. I'm sure that there will be a topic in there which you'll find amusing or interested in. Also, I've done my best to separate all the episodes out into playlists as well. Okay, so if you're interested in some how-to videos, or the C1 Chaser, I didn't mention that one. That one is progressing. Well, you'll see it in a moment. There's a new flying wing. I've done my best to separate them out into playlists. Go and fill your boots with them. And the last topic is that if you want to get involved after the RC Coffee Chat's been finished, is that we do have a Facebook group called Rag the Nuts Off. And we just share stuff which is going on throughout the day, and there's always someone doing something somewhere in the world, and that's the really cool thing about Facebook, is that we're able to share questions, builds, and just make confessions to the RC God on a new purchase, which, by the way, the RC God only likes EPP, and you'll know what that means if you scroll back through some of the older posts. So if that looks like something which would interest you, I'll put a link to this in the Facebook, in the video description. Hit the join button and I'll pick it up later today. And yeah, it's really good fun. We have every single day, we have great fun in that group. So with that said, if this was your first RC Coffee Chat, what did you make of it? Let me know in the comments section underneath this episode. I'd love to hear from you. And like I said, a big hat tip to Bruce for mentioning the channel yesterday. And I just want to genuinely say thank you, Bruce, because it really was Bruce which got me into flying models. And I wouldn't be sat here chatting to you today if it wasn't for Bruce putting that episode out like 7-8 months ago now. So with that said, if you're out flying today, please chuck a battery in for me, because it is rock solid frozen here at the moment. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to be flying today, but Friday is definitely going to be a flying day. Well, if Dave doesn't get too drunk the night before on his works night out, so we'll see. Happy days. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for joining me today for today's RC Coffee Chat, and I'll see you about the same time tomorrow morning. Cheerios!